Hello, it's Mr. Neil here, and this is the first of a series of videos where I'm going to look at the website design and development unit from Higher Computing Science. In this video we're going to look at page structure and navigation bars. From the core specification we need to be able to describe, exemplify and implement effective user interface design showing horizontal navigation bars. We also need to be able to describe, exemplify and implement HTML code for header, nav, main, footer and section. Implement efficient inline, internal and external CSS using grouping and descendant selectors to create horizontal navigation bars. From National 5 Computing Science, you may recall that a web page contains three main tags. The tag at the top and the bottom of the document is the HTML tag. This makes sure that the browser is clear that the content of this document is HTML. Within the HTML tag we have a head tag. This contains the information about the website or the web page and the styling and formatting. For example, the title, internal CSS, or link to an external CSS file. The body tag contains everything that the user will see on the screen. The headings, the images, the paragraphs, the videos, etc. At Higher, we break the body up into four different sections. We start with a header tag. This contains a banner for each page, which includes the name of the website and potentially a graphic. The nav tag includes our navigation bar, and this contains links to the main subtopics of a website. The main tag contains the actual content that's going to appear on each page. And the footer tag contains additional information such as contact details, copyright or legal declaration that would appear on every page. Here we have the home page for the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry website, and we can see the four sections. We've got a banner for our header, we've got a nav bar, we've got our main page content, and then a footer at the bottom. Let's head over to REPL and have a look at this code. Here we are in REPL, and you'll notice that we have got the basic HTML structure like every document has. We have got a head tag, and inside this head tag we've got the title of the page, and we've got links to external CSS files, and we've also got space for adding internal CSS to this page. We then have our body, and inside our body we've got all the content that appears on our page. We then split the body up into its four sections, starting with a header, moving on to our navigation bar. Nav bars are constructed using bulleted lists. So you can see here we have used an unordered list to create a navigation bar. It is CSS that makes it horizontal and look like this, and we'll discuss how to do that shortly. Then we have our main section, which is the content within every single page. And lastly we have our footer, which in this case contains the school motto and our head teacher. And if we have a look at one of our other pages on our website, you'll see that the header, the nav and the footer are consistent. It is the main of the page that is changing. If we look at the code for this page, you'll see it's structured the same. We've got our head with our external CSS. We've also got some internal CSS in this document. We then have our body with our header, our nav, our main, and lastly our footer at the bottom. Whilst we're here, it is also worth exploring how we're structuring the organisation of our website. At National 5, the likelihood is that you contain the HTML, the image and the CSS files all in the same folder. At Higher, the size of the websites that we're working with are going to get bigger, so we need to think about file management. You'll notice here that I've got two folders, a folder for CSS and a folder for media. My main CSS file is within this CSS folder, and all the media within my website is in this folder, and it's even within subfolders. So for example, this image on the far right for transfiguration is located in the media folder, in the subjects folder, and it's called transfiguration. So therefore when I insert the image in, I need to tell the browser, look in the media folder, look in the subjects folder, and there you'll find transfiguration. So with this format we need to give the file path to the image. So there is how we use advanced page structure in a web page. Also looking at how we do file management of our website. This is how our Hogwarts website is structured. We start with landing on a home page, which is normally called index.html, and then from there we can go to houses, subjects, teachers and Quidditch. And these 5 pages are going to form our navigation bar. And if we just jump quickly over to REPL, you can see here our home page, our houses, our subjects and our teachers and our Quidditch are the pages that form our navigation bar. From the Quidditch page, we can then get to the Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw and Slytherin teams. And from the houses page, we can get access to common rooms and house ghosts. But from house ghosts, it's not possible to get to the Hufflepuff Quidditch team. We have to go up to the Quidditch homepage and then back down. So here we have a simplified version of the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And I'm going to take you through how to implement this menu bar. You can work along with me by accessing the REPL project using the web address at the bottom of this slide. Let's head over to REPL and see how we implement a navigation bar. You'll notice that when the website first loads, we have got a bullet pointed list of all our web links to the different pages within our website. And then we've got the main content of our website, which also contains a bullet pointed list. Now, as our navigation bar is going to be applied across all pages in our website, I'm going to make sure that I apply the CSS to implement the navigation bar into my external CSS. I'm going to put all the CSS for my navigation bar under one heading. And that's just so it's nice and easy if I need to edit it or I need to move it or change it, it's all in one place. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get rid of the bullet points. Now it may not look in this view here that there are any bullet points, but it's just the way REPL's previewing it. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of the bullet points. So the bullet points are associated with the UL tag. So we're going to say UL and we want to say the list style type is set to none. So when I run this code, we should lose the bullet points for any UL item. And we have. The bullet points for this will have gone, but the bullet points for the UL within the main have also gone. And we don't want that to happen. We want to keep the bullet points here, and we want to remove them from here. So this is where we use a descendant selector. We only want this rule here to apply to the UL items inside the nav bar. So when we run this, my bullet points for my main content remain, but my bullet points for my nav bar will have gone. The next step is to get our hyperlinks going along a horizontal line. To do that, we want each of the list items within our unordered list in our navigation bar to float left. So we go nav, ULLI, float left. When we run this, you'll notice that our items are now running horizontal, but we've lost the background colour of the nav bar, and actually our H1 is interfering with our nav bar. So we're going to set a height to nav bar. So we're going to go nav, height, and let's go for 35 pixels. And now we've got a nav bar and it's at height of 35 pixels. However, the items within our list are all a bit cluttered. So we're going to space them out. So we're going to add to our nav UL LI item a width. And this is where we need to do a little bit of quick maths. I have set the width of my whole body to be 1000 pixels. Within my menu there are 5 items. So we're going to take 1000 divided by 5, which gives us 200 pixels. And now our items are spread out along our navigation bar. But it looks a little bit weird them being stuck against the left hand side invisibly. So we're going to centre them within their space. So we're going to add text align, centre, spelling it the American way, and we now have each item within the centre of its 200 block space. Now if I want to jump to another page with my website, I've got to click on the actual text itself. I can't click around it, I've got to click on the word. Now for you or I, that might be relatively straightforward, but someone who is maybe not as able with using a mouse, that can be quite tricky. So we're going to add a block around each of these hyperlinks that we can click on. So we want to specify that we are editing the hyperlink within the list item, within the unordered list, within the navigation bar. So nav ul li e. We're going to say that we want to display block. And this just means that we'll be able to click anywhere round about it to work. So now when I click run, you'll notice if I click here, I get a hyperlink. If I click here, I get the houses hyperlink. If I click here, I get the subjects hyperlink, and so on. At the moment, our hyperlinks are stuck to the top of the nav bar, so we're going to add in some padding, and that will just give us space. We'll talk about padding and margins and floating and blocking in a later video. So now we've got a little bit more space, and because my background is purple and my text is purple, it's quite hard to read, so I'm going to add colour of white to my website, and now they all stand out. Now when we go to click on a hyperlink, it can be really quite difficult to tell what hyperlink we're clicking on, specifically if we're between two. So we're going to add in hover, and what hover does is it will highlight whichever link we've got. So we're going to go nav ul li a : hover. So when we hover over the link within the li, within the ul, within the nav, we want the background colour to be purple. And now when I hover over it, you can see clearly which one of these links I have got selected. So in order to implement a navigation bar in CSS, you need these 5 lines. So in this video, we have looked at how we implement horizontal navigation bars using external CSS with a little bit of descendant selectors in there. And we've looked at the HTML code for header, nav, main, and footer. To become more familiar with the content covered in this video, why don't you try the Edinburgh Zoo website task? Follow the link on the slide to the project folder. In this folder, you find a set of instructions and some screenshots. Use these to help you implement the Edinburgh Zoo website. The Edinburgh Zoo website incorporates the advanced page layout and nav bar that we've covered in this video, but also some things from National 5.